Hi everybody, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel if you're already subscribed. In today's video, I decided that as a stationery lover, I would do my fountain pen collection. Give you a little bit of backstory and my thoughts, and then at the end I'll show you what I store them in. So to start off, I started collecting fountain pens in May of 2017. I started bullet journaling in March of 2017 and I quickly fell down the rabbit hole through YouTube videos. The first person I remember watching on fountain pens was Baoer. She's not making videos anymore, but she was the first person that I saw with fountain pens. So the first fountain pen that I had was the Pilot Metropolitan. I bought this on Amazon Canada for just under $25 Canadian. If you are familiar with fountain pens, there is a really hot debate on the best starter fountain pen, if you should start off with a Metropolitan or something like an All-Star or a Safari from Lamy. I decided to go with the Pilot Metropolitan just because it was easier for me to get my hands on in Canada. So this is the purple one in a medium nib. Purple being my favorite color, I decided that this was the perfect one to start with. I started off with Pilot cartridges and quickly fell in love with fountain pens. It did take me from May to September to get my second one, but I was using this religiously during that time. It is a really good starter fountain pen if you want my opinion. Pilot is a little bit easier to get your hands on in certain places than Lamy, depending on where you are in the world. I know in Europe, fountain pens are pretty common. You can get them in the grocery store, but in Canada, it's definitely more difficult. So if you are in a situation that's similar to that, I would definitely recommend starting off with a Pilot Metropolitan if it's the easiest to get your hands on. The second pen that I have is the Lamy limited edition Pacific Blue, and this is in a fine tip. And you might, if you're familiar with Lamy, you might notice that it is different than a normal one. The body of it is different. The fountain pens always come with a ink window here. That is because when I got this in September of 2017. So this was the 2017 release. They only come out with, certain number of pens every year. And I was in Ottawa at the time, and they had the body of the pen, but not with the nib. They only had the roller ball. So this is what a roller ball body is, which is exactly the same, except it has a line instead of like a cross or an X, and it doesn't have the ink window. But I really wanted this one. I love the color, and I use blue ink a lot. Lamy is one of my favorite brands now of fountain pens. So that is the Lamy Pacific Blue. The next fountain pen I got was for Christmas of 2017, and this is a Baoer, I think it's pronounced, B-A-O-E-R. And I really do not like how this writes. I'm not familiar with nib smoothing and tuning and things like that. I would definitely love to work on it. It's also hard to get the lid off. It is a really classic, gold and black. You can't really go wrong with that color scheme, but I just do not like how it writes. So hopefully one day I can get it smoothed. The next one is another limited edition Lamy. This is the Petrol from 2018, and I learned my lesson from the Pacific Blue, and I made sure to get this one early. So I bought this in January of 2018. I don't even think at the time they had the Petrol ink in the store, even in January. It sold out super quickly. It's basically gold to get your hand on, this one and the dark lilac. This has a black nib, which is really cool. I really love this one. This is my first extra fine, and I do love it. If you are familiar with Lamy, they do have inconsistent nibs sometimes, but I do like the extra fine. Medium, very rarely. I did actually recently get a broad nib, just to try it because I don't have any brawn nibs. But anyway, that's a different story. So I do really enjoy this one. And then following closely after a couple weeks, like a week or two, is the Lamy Vibrant Pink. I bought the ink to go with it. I love this pen, and I got this one in a fine. So I hope you can see the difference. Yeah. So this is the rollerball body, and then this is the regular fountain pen body. So I mean, I don't mind that this one doesn't have an ink window. I didn't mind at the time, and I still don't mind. It's just one of those things. It's not symmetrical. It's not the same as all of the Lamys in my collection, but that is okay with me. Then I dipped into Noodlers. Now this is an Ahab Pearl, and this is a flex nib. In a bullet journal, it's not the best to write with because it lays down a lot of ink and it tends to bleed through, feather, you name it. So I don't use this one as much as I would like to. I love the body on it. I was really picky on the body, but I guess I got this one on Wonder Pens, which is in Toronto. I will link them down below. They're a really great place for Canadians to get fountain pen items. But Noodler's pens are very finicky, and you will have to tinker with it. So that's definitely something to consider, but it's a really cool pen to have. Then my first gold nib pen, the Pilot Vanishing Point in the matte black, and I got it in the extra fine. I hold my pens really weird. So how I hold this is so embarrassing. How I hold my pens is like this. I don't have a typical pincher grip around the clip right here, which is what most people complain about. I tried it in the store in Wonder Pens on my birthday. That's where I wanted to go on my birthday. And this is the pen that I picked out. I tried it. I liked how the extra fine writes. I still do. But the way that I hold the pen is just really tiring on my hand. The extra fine is extremely fine. Because it is a Japanese nib, it is really fine. Would I get this one again? Probably not. I might go for more for the Lamy 2000, which I've had my eye on for years. Haven't bit the bullet because I just don't have the money to spend 250 Canadian on a pen at this point. I really wanted something classic. I was accepted into law school. I wanted something that I could use every day. This is a really nice body, but just the way that I hold my pen is not the best for this pen. I'm still keeping it at this point. I might sell it to try and get a Lamy 2000. I haven't actually tried a Lamy 2000, so I definitely want to before I bite the bullet on that. I think you either love the clip or don't. Unfortunately, I'm not a big fan. I would if I had the typical grasp like a normal person. However, I hold it like this is how I've always held my pens. So it's just really tiring on my hand. This is the first pen I bought in the UK. This is the Muji fountain pen. I don't know if I got a dud on this because people seem to love this pen. I don't. It is extremely dry, and it baby bottoms a lot. Like, it's just not working. It has never worked for me. I'm definitely gonna keep giving it a go, maybe with different ink. It's been quite a while since I inked it up, but I would like to fix it one day because I know people love it. It's such an affordable choice at £12.50 in the UK. So it is a really affordable metal body choice. It just doesn't work for me at this point. This is a really fun one. This is the Pilot Kakuno, and this is with the Mickey Mouse. I was looking for a Disney fountain pen, and I came across the, I think it's Fantasia, and Sorcerer Mickey from Fantasia is my favorite Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse is one of my favorite Disney characters. So I looked into it, saw that the pen was only a certain amount was produced and that it would cost hundreds of or thousands of dollars. So I was like, well, I don't have that money. I'm in school and it would be extremely hard to find that. So I Googled and was looking around and I found the Kakuno with Mickey on it. And it was on eBay US, and I was in the UK at the time, but it was just under $30 US. Shipped right from Japan. I love how this writes. I don't use it as much as I should. I love the little happy face. He's so cute. I love how this is Mickey. Pilot Kakuno, if you have access to it, is a really great starter pen. It is plastic. Yours probably won't have Mickey on it, but it is a really great starter pen. It's, used in Japan, I think, for kids, so it has the smiley face. So, it teaches you, this is, you want the smiley face facing you instead of writing like this. So it is really good if you do have access to it. But it just has a really special place in my heart just because it has Mickey on it. Mickey's one of my favorites. This one has a super fun story. So this was my first international trip from the UK on my own. I went to law school in London in the United Kingdom, and I went to Scotland but didn't get a fountain pen there. My first international trip was to Amsterdam, and I thought, wow, I love fountain pens. I would love to get a fountain pen, commemorating the trip. So I went into PW Ackerman. I only researched stationery stores that had fountain pens. I didn't know about their inks. If I went back, I would definitely pick up some of their inks. The Van Gogh Museum is in Amsterdam, and Van Gogh is from Holland. I didn't have the funds at the time to get a Van Gogh. I would love to go back to Amsterdam and get a Van Gogh. I've stopped myself from getting a Van Gogh that have been on sale because I'm not in Amsterdam. I want it to be special. Not just getting it from any store, but getting it in Amsterdam where the Van Gogh Museum is. The Van Gogh pens, they have very specific coloring. Not all the pens are alike. So I would love to pick that up in person. So maybe one day, hopefully, I'll get back to Amsterdam. But anyway, that's a sidetrack. So I went into the Ackerman store and I fell in love with the Platinum Plaisir. It was pretty affordable at 22 euros. I'm actually using it, that's why the nib is dirty. But every time I write with this, I remember where I got it. I was in Amsterdam. It's one of my favorite pens. It's a really good pen to write with. Again, a really great starter pen if you do have access to Platinum Easier. I believe it's metal, it's aluminum. It's an aluminum body pen. And I got it in a fine. I love the color of it. It's really simple. And it's just a really great way to commemorate any trip. Next is my only TWBSI pen. This is my TWBSI Eco. I got it in an extra fine in white. Again, from Wonder Pens. And these are just really awesome pens. Again, a really great starter pen or one of your first pens because you can see the ink sloshing around. There's a lot of different colors. They have lots of different finishes. They're really great pens. So I would definitely recommend TWBSI. They're pretty affordable too, in the $30 or $40 range. So not too bad. And I do definitely love my TWBSI Eco. For another story, I went to Paris in October of 2019. I have wanted to go to Paris for over 10 years at the point when I went. And I was at the Louvre, and I had to make a stop to Delphonics. And this is the J. Herbin fountain pen. It's just clear. Again, I'm using it. And I love this pen. It's a really great pen. And I wanted to get a J. Herbin because he's French. So I really do love this pen. Every time I think of it, I know I was in Paris. Paris is such an amazing city. I enjoyed my trip so much when I went, and so I think that if you love fountain pens and you're able to, buying a fountain pen during your trip, every time you ink it, every time you see it, every time you use it, it's going to remind you of that trip, which is really special. Yeah, a lot of mementos are special, if you're a pin collector or sweaters or something like that. But if you use fountain pens every day, you can use your memento every day. So I would definitely recommend doing that if you're able to. This is my BENU Chameleon. And oh my gosh, it looks like a little smiley face there. Oh my gosh, I just realized that. How cute. Anyway, so this is my BENU Chameleon and Graceful Chameleon. And I got this at the 2020 London Pen Show. And I never heard of BENU. I saw the pens. I will link below the website if you are in the UK or in London, of the distributor. He was super nice. I was at his table basically the entire time. These are expensive pens. This was, I think, £100 at the store, at the fountain pen show. So they are very expensive, but they are just so cool. Like I said, I never heard of BENU before, so he was telling me about the company, and it's just so cool. So this I bought to commemorate my first pen show, and this was before, like a week before or 2 weeks before COVID. Really like it. I do like how it writes. I think it's a medium. Let me check my note. No, it's a fine. It is a fine, but it writes pretty thick. But it is a really cool pen. Another limited edition, I have the Lamy All-Star in bronze. This is the 2019 special edition, and I got it for a really good price on Art from the Heart. I will link them down below as well. They are located in the UK, and I got it for £14.99. So £15, and I really love the color. Again, I love Lamy. I am currently using this, and I got it in a fine as well. And Art from the Heart is really great. They have really good prices. They have sales and deals sometimes, so I will definitely link them below for you to check out if you are located in the UK. This is a really special one. I discovered where I got this. It's from There Will Be Wood Facebook. I will link him below as well, Gary. He is located in the UK. I first heard of them from Princess Honey here on YouTube, Caroline. I will link her down below as well. I love her channel. I'm obsessed with all of her videos. But I first heard from him through her, and she had a very similar pen to this, made out of the same materials, which I will get to in a second. But I fell in love with her pen. I basically talked to him right away and said, hey, do you have anything left? And I was lucky enough to get one of the last sets of the fountain pen and the rollerball. The rollerball is actually set away as a Christmas present for my dad, but they are set. And it is made from wood from the Dudley Zoo, from the elephant enclosure, and then it's filled with resin. So it is absolutely amazing. I love how it writes. It is thicker. I think it's a medium, so it does write thicker, but it is just amazing. It is a heavy pen, but if you're interested in something like this, definitely go talk to Gary, see if he's doing anything like that. I would highly recommend it. It is just amazing. This is my second to last pen. This is a Lamy Graphite, and I got it from my boyfriend for my 25th birthday. I basically said, hey, I want a fountain pen. These are the kinds that I want. And you can pick something to engrave on it. I got it from Pen Haven, which is in the UK. I will link them down below. They have, I think it's free engraving. They did a really good job on it. So this is engraved from my boyfriend. I love this pen, currently using this as well. Love the color, love Lamy. I couldn't be happier with it. I'm gonna keep it forever. That's a really cool idea. If you know somebody who likes fountain pens, to get them a fountain pen engraved is a really good gift. Which brings me to my last fountain pen, which is my Faber-Castell Essentio, I think is how you pronounce it. This is in rose, and I got it in extra fine. This was also, I'm using it right now too. This is my everyday bullet journal pen. My boyfriend texted his mom and for the list of pens that I wanted, and she got my name engraved. I love this font, which it's really cool. So again, it's a really cool present. I really like how this writes. This is an extra fine aluminum body. It is like weighty, but it's definitely not too heavy. If you post it, it's extremely long and heavy, but I don't typically post my pens unless I'm on the go and I'm like, oop, I need, you know, to make sure I don't lose it. I'm just writing something quick and then I'll take it off. But it's a really good pen. It's, so again, a really great gift for anybody who likes fountain pens. Get their name engraved, their birth date, a special date, anything like that would be really cool. And this is what I store my fountain pens in. The first storage I got is from Nock Co. This is really common. Nock Co is a really great company. It is the pen roll. It holds 6 pens, and you're able to put, you know, ink, extra pens, samples, ink syringes, whatever you want in here. This is really great. So I definitely recommend this. The outside fabric is like coated cotton, so it is like, it's not smooth, it's pretty rough, and it does, as you can see, attract dust and fuzzies and stuff like that. But I would definitely recommend this case. The next case I got is from Galen Leather. This is their 10 fountain pen case. I got it in the Crazy Horse Smoky, I believe it's called. I went back and forth on the colors countless times. Decided on the Smoky. It's really, really nice. It does mark, so that is definitely something to consider before you buy, that it will get marked up. I don't mind. I thought I would mind more than I do. It just kind of adds to the character of it. You know, this will probably outlast you. So I used this to carry 10 of my pens back from the UK on my most recent trip, and it worked really well. Holds up great. I highly recommend this case. The last place that I store my pens is in this little holder, which is from the Galen Leather A5 folio, zip folio. I hold it just on my desk with just the pens that I'm currently using, so it kind of keeps them all together. I try to do that, doesn't always work, but they just, you know, slip in there. It's another one I'm using, and then the Essentio. So I try to not keep all of my pens kind of inked. I don't keep this in the folio just because my bullet journal is really thick at this point. It doesn't zip really right now. I got a video on the Galen Leather folio, let me know. But this is also really great to just kind of corral your pens, you know, that it's easy to just pop it out, pop it back in on your desk. So that is where I store my pens. So these are all my fountain pens. I know I kind of rambled on. I hope you found this informative, helpful, interesting. Again, if I were to recommend a beginner fountain pen, I would say either the Pilot Metropolitan, the Pilot Kakuno, or the TWBSI Eco, or Lamy Safari. I should mention as well, Lamy has a triangulated kind of grip, so it does kind of force you into the pincher grasp if you don't do that already. Again, like I said, I have a really weird way that I hold my pen, and I don't find it annoying with this kind of forced grasp. So it's definitely something to consider. Depending on the way that you hold the pen, you know, that'll be kind of up to you to decide. If you can, I would definitely recommend going to a store, trying it out. It's not always possible, especially, you know, everybody's getting vaccinated, so it's not easy depending on where you are. But those are my fountain pens. If you have any questions, comments, would like me to share any, you know, an in-depth video about Lamy Savaris or anything like that, just comment below and let me know. And I will see you in my next video.